Well, in a bar, on a date with Aljamain Sterling. I don't know if it's a date. I'm calling it a date. Aljo, how we doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's I'm gonna say officially it's not a date.
That's all right. Well, at least we're hanging out at a bar together. But Aljo, UFC 316 Fight Week in Newark. Obviously, here from Merab. In short, does this rematch go down any differently?
Oh, definitely gonna be different. No two fights are the same, right? So it's gonna be an interesting one for sure. You see all the things that O'Malley's been talking about that he's changed and different things that he's doing. But at the end of the day, it's still a fight. Two guys trying to hurt each other, and whoever hurts the other person more usually wins.
And obviously, you have history with O'Malley. Have you guys run into him at all at the hotel yet this week at all?
Yeah, we actually just saw him, but they didn't really look our way. I get it, though. Fight week, you're trying to stay focused, don't want to get distracted with other stuff or spend energy on other things. But, yeah, I think it was pretty cordial.
I was going to say, like, I'm going to put this down real quick. You guys are, like, when you see each other now, you guys are cordial, right? Like, O'Malley, obviously you fought, but he seems like a goofy guy, like, when he's not in the cage. Is that true at all?
I don't really know his personality outside of when he's asking me constantly about my weight or asking other fighters how much they weigh in person. That's always been my interaction. How much do you weigh right now? So I don't really have much to go off of. I've always said his personality was a little dry, in my opinion, and I didn't really understand the stardom other than his fight skills. He's a very good fighter. He had a lot of good knockouts and highlights, and that's usually good when you're fighting like not so good people. So
we got our food, so we're gonna make this interview quick. Thank you. Sorry, you can put it up here.
Oh, it looks amazing.
For me? I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Thank you. It's Iron Bar.
Iron Bar. Check it out. Morristown, New Jersey. You put that over there. I don't want to get the wire in. Okay, back to it. I'll edit that out. So something about O'Malley this camp. Obviously, there's a narrative that he's healthy, so the fight could be different. But also,
isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that he's all of a sudden healthy, but for some reason I was making excuses when we fought, had to turn around after just going 25 minutes with a former two-division champion. You can say whatever you want. I had to take a whole month off just to let my legs heal, and somehow that had no bearing on the fight in his fan base's mind. But anyone as a combat sports athlete understands the game. You have to be mentally ready and physically prepared in order to step in there. So it's just, I think it's perfect timing with the irony, you know? So karma has a way of playing funny games, and now he sees how it feels. And again, even if he had two good hips, I really don't think on that day he was beating Merab. That's my personal opinion. But here we are. He's had a feel for him, a vibe. So now I guess the difference is this being one of Merab's first rematches in the UFC, how differently will this fight go, and can he make the adjustments after feeling what I have to deal with for the last 10 years of my MMA career, right? You know, so it's not easy. And, you know, I wish him good health in the fight, right? After I don't want to see anybody get, like, banged up or anything like that. But facts are the facts, you know. The better man wins on the night. It's not always the better fighter. And I really do believe that with all the preparation Merab has done, I think he's going to get it done again.
and this might be repetitive, but a second half of that question is, along with being, in quotes, healthy, he also quit smoking weed. He quit gooning. I don't even know what gooning really means, but he quit all these things. Does that have an effect in this fight?
Well, I don't know what the fuck is a gooning. And, Sean, what the fuck is a gooning? And Jane the Peen? If there's anyone that likes Jane the Peen, it's me. So, even before a fight, hey, you gotta get the stress out some way or another, right? I don't know if it makes him feel better. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to if he were not to get the job done, knock on wood, he doesn't, then he could look back at it and say, at least I gave it everything and I left no stones unturned. So I think that's the mentality that he's kind of coming into this fight with. So I respect it, but at the end of the day, you're preparing for a guy who has an endless battery. I've trained with this guy. I've sparred with him multiple times. We probably have months, maybe even years of sparring footage at this point. Joking, but definitely months. It takes a special type of person to be able to handle that. And I'm not saying you can't. Of course, you can land a lucky punch, you can land a lucky knee. Or I don't want to say lucky. You could time something good, right? Or you could just throw caution into win and maybe you get lucky. But it's just one of those things. So we'll see. Again, I have no ill will towards O'Malley. I know some people probably think, oh, you're salty. I'm not salty whatsoever. Fair play to him, taking advantage of a situation and getting the win. But I think in any other fair circumstance, it would have been completely different. But here we are. He's fighting Merab in a rematch after having one title defense. Somehow it's funny how things like this in life works. But I hope they make a lot of money, especially Merab because he's pay-per-view. He gets pay-per-view points. And I just hope it's a great fight.
And I know you're excited to get into those wings. Does that mean since you're bulking up over here? Well, first of all, Jamaican jerk. Did I guess right?
Teriyaki.
Close enough. I tried. But does this mean you don't have anything on the books? You got something coming soon? Like, what are the plans for Aljamain Sterling?
Well, if you're in a fight camp with Merab, you're in camp. So I've been training. I've been wanting to fight since March. After I fought in December, I asked for March. Then they gave me a short notice opportunity against Pitbull in February, which was like 5.5 weeks, which is only 4.5 weeks of time to prepare.
Right.
Because the last week is just a weight cut. And that was too short notice because when they offered the fight, I was in Miami partying. So it didn't make sense. I was like, dude, I'm not in shape now. I was training for this moment. You guys kind of told me I could take my foot off the gas. I did that, and then they offered me a fight. I'm like, come on.
Give me a full camp.
Give me a full camp, or don't tell me to take my foot off the gas. And then when I start working and promote my Funk Harbor company and start going to do all these activations and stuff, it's not realistic for me to just jump into a fight. But now I'm in good shape. I still drink here and there. That's normal for me. Everyone's not the same. And hopefully I get something soon, man. I'm getting bored.
Like, does it? I mean, obviously Newark's in the backyard. Like, does it? And you were on 288 last time they were in Newark. So, like, does it hurt to not be on this card specifically?
I asked for this card. After I wasn't getting March, I wasn't getting April, I said, okay, guys, you guys are coming to New Jersey. Send a text. Hey, can I get on the Newark card with Merab? I thought it was going to happen, and I don't know what the fuck. I'm just here living and training and staying in shape. You know, trying to keep the guns, trying to stay swole. But hopefully you guys get to see me before 2026, because if I don't fight again, if I only fight once this year, that's going to be really sad. I'm getting older. I want to maximize the end of my career. I'm not naive to it, right? I'm 35 years old. I'm going to be 36 in July, at the end of July. I got a wedding coming up in October. I'm trying to make some money before all these things so that I can stay active, try to chase another dream and another goal, hopefully become a 2-division champion.
And obviously, you and Petr, you guys have been busy. You've been grappling up with the Russians. I don't know, has there even been a thought or anybody propose, we're going to do this show to hype up the Trilogy, he's going to move up to Featherweight, or not even in the stars at all?
I don't know. They were talking about it when we were in Thailand, but I said if we were to fight again, it'd have to be at 145. Yeah. And I told him, I'm not coming back down to 35. Which I did think about it when I woke up in the morning. I was like 161. I was like, maybe I could make 35 again. But then I was like, my weight bounced back up to like 68, and I was like, yeah, that was a good thought for the moment, but it's not happening.
Yeah, no. Another one I'm curious about is the featherweight title right now is under some debate. People are wondering who should be next. A lot of people think it should be Mozart, who you're no stranger to, but it's seeming like maybe it's leaning towards Yair, which a lot of fans don't agree with. What are your thoughts on the featherweight title picture?
If they give it to Yair, all respect to Yair, but that's crazy work.
Yeah.
But he's popular, and if they're going to do an event in Mexico, then it makes sense.
Well, it's canceled now. Now it's going to San Antonio. It's not even in Mexico.
Well, then I don't know, man. I'm not the UFC. I don't run the company. These guys have all these metrics and things like that they follow to try to promote fights. So I'm always the guy based on merit. I had to work my ass off. I've seen a lot of guys work their ass off and not get their fair shake. I almost didn't get a fair shake. And I had to claw tooth and nail just to get to a title shot. It was lackluster, to say the least. And I was able to redeem myself, but it's just one of those things. You never know what the UFC is thinking and what they think makes the most sense for their bottom line, and I get that. They need their company. I think they're private again.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so they got to do what makes the most sense for the company and the brand. So I get that. But you get into the sport thinking, like, oh, I'm going to work hard, and if I win X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to get this opportunity, and not everyone gets that fair shake. So it is what it is. But once you understand that, you can make peace with it. So for 45, I thought it should have been Mozart. I was hoping that I could maybe fight a Diego or Brian Ortega. And much respect and love to Brian. Like, he's the homie. He's cool, but we're not like him, me and Merab. We're not training together. So it's just one of those things where now I'm up at the weight class. Even Arnold Allen, I even called out Lerone Murphy. I'm like, I just want to fight someone where the fight means something. I won the belt. I'm no longer this up-and-comer unknown name, so I want to fight guys that actually mean something for my career, not just helping a young fighter build their career. And I understand that they need that too, but I don't think I'm at that stage in my career. I had a great fight with Mozart. Arguably, I thought I won. At worst, a draw. Even when they were reading the decision, I was like, this is probably going to be a majority draw, or I think I did enough to win, winning 3.5 minutes of the third round, and somehow. But then you get his fans that say, oh, he outstruck you. I'm like, please watch the fight and show me where the fuck he outstruck me. If you're saying those pity pat shots compared to the strikes I landed and threw him on his fucking head, if that's winning, then okay. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at anymore. But maybe a different day, different judges, maybe I win that fight. But that's how close it was. So I'm just saying it was a close fight. So I know I'm still right there, and I want a fight that means something that's going to get me closer to the belt.
And that was my next and final question, and it seems to be a silly one now. The goal still is, get another fight hopefully before the end of the year, and then put yourself right back into title contention, yes?
100%. What else? Why else would you be doing this?
Money, fame, I don't know.
Some people do it for the money. I did it for the money in the beginning. I did it for the popularity, and then I got all those things, and I was like,
You want the glory.
I got in it to become the best. That was the main goal, and I knew becoming the best would get me the money. And I was able to do that, defend a couple of times, and now I'm in a position where I'm at a different weight class. And if I could do that again, man, that's chasing history, that's carving out legacy that it's undeniable. People can say whatever they want to say about my title run. When you're fighting the best guys in the world, you're not going to finish everybody.
Sure, yeah.
And even when I was on the come-up, I got finishes here and there. But when you're fighting cans, I hate saying cans because I feel like I'm disrespecting these other fighters.
We get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, but when you're fighting guys that aren't up to par in competition, you get finishes. And I've talked about multiple fighters saying, like, yeah, if I fought those fucking guys too, I would have a crazy highlight reel. I wish, but I didn't get those same opportunities, And not everyone has the same path. So it is what it is. And I just hope, like, the younger guys can actually look at that. Like, we're not all going to get the easy path to get to the top. And sometimes you got to do it your own way, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenges, ups and downs, but it's what you make of it, and hopefully you can make the most of it.
Anything for all your fans before I get out of here?
If there's anything I want to say, is go buy some fucking Funk Harbor if you haven't bought some Funk Harbor yet. But I do appreciate the fans who have ordered, because there has been a lot of fan support, which I'm super gracious and thankful for. Obviously, I'm funding the company, so there's a lot of my money that I made through fighting, entertaining the fans, and I'm happy that they're kind of reciprocating the love in a different way. Like, yeah, you buy tickets, but that doesn't really affect us in a direct way. This actually affects me directly, so it's nice when the fans are getting behind other fighters. Like, same thing, I try to support other fighters in their endeavors and things like that. So if you haven't got it, I'm telling you, no additives, no preservatives, no food coloring, so it's an actual good product. You could get bombed on it, wake up the next day, and almost, depending how much you drink, almost feel like nothing happened, but you won't have no crazy hangover. That I can promise you.
Sounds like we got some RFK-approved rum, yeah?
Maha.
I thought you were going with some of the alcohol, but Maha is just making me healthy again. Well, Aljo, I owe you some warm food. Thank you very much, my man. Everybody, I want to say thank you to the Iron Bar who let us do the interview in here. UFC 316 this Saturday night, Merab versus Sean O'Malley. Aljo, you the man.
Cheers.